Hey everybody, what's up? So, as you can see, this is not 3ds Max. What is it? What is this madness? It's called Houdini, okay? So, before I start, so you don't waste your precious little time, I am a beginner, okay? You might even call me a noob. So, if you don't like that, just X out, go back, watch something else. Now, when that is out of the way, let's talk a little bit about Houdini. I don't have anything specific that we're going to be creating. Okay, I'm just gonna, you know, free flow this. I wish I could say a guide for beginners into Houdini land, but since I'm a beginner myself, that I don't even know what I'm going to title this. So you just make up your own title, noob teaching noobs or whatever. Um, yeah. So I have this gorgeous looking program up, and I have the most important uh, panels here that I find the most important for most things. So we have the 3D viewport, right? We have to see what we're doing. It's a 3D program, so. And here we have the nodes tab. We can add in our nodes. And here we have the parameters. So each node have parameters that we can change. So it's a good thing to be able to change them. And here we have the spreadsheet, the geometry spreadsheet. So we can see attributes, we can see intrinsics from, you know, all of these. Like we have points, vertices, polygons, or primitives as it's called here, and detail. So like I said, I don't have anything specific that we're going to do. So I'm just going to, I don't know, I'm probably going to be a bit about dynamics and constraints. That's interesting. Um, but whatever. It's weird talking to myself. Uh, um, this is I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna say. But let's start. So we're in object mode or whatever it's called. So tab. I'm gonna add a sphere. You know, you see most people do like, oh, I'm gonna add a geometry. You can do that as well if you want to, but there's a fucking sphere, so I'm gonna add a sphere. So in 3ds Max, if you're coming from 3ds Max, which maybe some of you are because you're watching this video from me, this is like when you're in you have your object selected, right? You don't manipulate vertices or edges and whatnot. You're like you have your object. Okay, I'm gonna double click this. Now we're in SOP, so surface operators. This is like now in 3ds Max you would like manipulate vertices and polygons and edges. We can do that here as well now. Okay, so I'm just gonna make this into a polygon and just up the frequency. I'm gonna zoom out, so it's just alt, left click, and right click, yeah, and middle click while still holding alt. Um, so I mean, we can still we can move the object in here as well. We can do it in here. We have translate, right? We have scales, rotate. Um, but yeah. So before I do anything dynamic, we're gonna fracture this. It's not gonna be very interesting, so you know, don't expect too much. We have, oh fuck, well, let's just lower this a little bit for now. In 3D viewport, I mean, we can tab, we can add in stuff in here as well. So I can select with this, what is it called? Select. That's a pretty little name. So we can select stuff, holding down Shift, um, Control, deselecting. I think you can like, it's like, yeah, you can like shift. Ah, fuck it. yeah, you can do like Shift A, and then you can like drag like this. This is really cool, huh? Are you impressed? I know you are. You don't fool anyone. Um, and let's see. I have a problem with this. Seriously, like with these stuff, I haven't really. Well, okay. So here, this is like the multi-select. I wish I could use this more. I think you have to use the select when you want to add, like, let's say, extrude. So I want to add an extrude, for example. So in version 16, you have the radial menu, which is nice. You can still like poly extrude, like that. Uh, but you do need to specify which radial menu you want. I always have this at polygon modeling. That's basically the only time when I'm actually using the radial menu, unless I want to do the V, which is like shading, for example. You son of a bitch. Let's do the smooth. And we also have X, I believe, yes. So we can have like snapping. Okay, so say I want to have an extrude here. Okay, so I do C and I do poly extrude and I can like that. You can also, if you don't like this and you want to have like more like 3D smacks, I guess, you can just check this. And if you want to have this always on in your file, okay, so it's not going to be like a global save, but we can like say, where is it? Make current value default. So now it's always going to be like this. So we can like do that, and I can press X or Q, I mean, to like to repeat what I just did, like that. How nice, how nice. Swoop. Okay, so I'm a super modeler. Seriously, this is like this bomb, and I don't even know what it's called. Whatever. I'm sure you see. It's so gorgeous. Now, the problem I have, I would like to use the multi-selector. So press Q. So with the multi-selector, we can like take edges, polygons, or vertices. But if I do this and I'm like, okay, I want to have a poly extrude, it goes to this. It's fucking annoying me. Okay, like, so you kind of have to use that unless I do something really wrong. I don't know. I just the workflow could be better unless I, like I said, not doing it the right way. But whatever. So that's another thing about the viewport is selection. That's really cool in this sweet ass program. So you can select based on attributes. For example, I can select based on a color attribute. Can select based on position or a custom attribute. So you don't know what attribute they are yet. I'm gonna assume that you're just starting out with Houdini, or you probably like uninstalled it a few times and just like, fuck, maybe I should learn it anyways, and then uninstall it again. Or you just thinking about maybe trying it out. So I don't have anything to really select, but you can, and it's really nice that we can have we can select based on things like that. Super cool. So now with that said, let's just not. Oh, because every time you do an extrude or whatever, it creates this tree of. You can see this as a memory tree. It's like fucking share. It's like the modifier stack, I suppose. It's just more robust. It's the modifier stack in 3ds Max is like iffy, you know. Here it's a lot nicer, but of course you can't just decide to like, oh, somewhere along here before I did the two other one, I'm gonna like add edges and whatnot. That's gonna screw things up down the line, down the tree, obviously, because each vertice have an ID. So now it's like all fucked. So don't see this as like procedural. It's not procedural. It's just like a memory thingy. Okay. Selecting all, and say you're done like this. Select everything. Press A, drag down, and you do that, or side. Super nice. There's a lot more than that, like Y, we can cut things off. I haven't learned all of that yet, but I suck at shortcuts. Really do. That's why I kind of want the multi-selector to like be all, end all. Can you say that? I don't know. Okay, so let's go into the dynamic of stuff. That's kind of fun, right? So, okay. Well, before that, okay, there's a ton of fucking, I shouldn't swear. There's a lot of notes, right? And I think this is probably the most hard thing when you get into Houdini. And this is just for the SOP, right? So we have DOP as well, which stands for dynamic operator. SOP stands for surface operator. POP, I don't think it exists anymore. I mean, there is POP, but everything, all the solvers is inside of a DOP object. So you can have like you can mix and match solvers. You can't do that in 3ds Max. You can't, like, it's a one-way communication. In Houdini, you can like just do a lot of different things and just see how things plans out, how it ends up, which is really cool. So like now everything is like in the DOP. I don't know. There's shops. There's like I said, I'm a beginner, so I'm not gonna fuck myself over here. But one thing to keep in mind is a lot of these are they are like doing a lot of different things, right? So it's not just like one specific thing. They do a lot of things, and also they kind of split up a lot of nodes. So we have our wrangles. So if I do wrangle, you see there's a lot of different, like, whoa, so much. But like attribute wrangle, same thing as point, same thing as primitive, same thing as vertex. I believe like the volume is a bit different, right? And the height field, I assume it's a bit different. I never used it. But these, they basically just have like this selection pre-selected, basically. So we have a point. If you do an attribute wrangle, well, that's same thing. Point. Do prim wrangle, it has primitive selected. So that's basically what it did. So, and in version 16, they also split up a lot of stuff, like the group. There's a lot of different groups. Before it was less notes about it. Now it's like they kind of specialize them a little bit. So a lot of nodes kind of goes away if you think about it that way. That's a lot of duplication, I guess. Not the group of duplications, but yeah. So that's it's an annoying thing when you start in Houdini, and I still learn it. Try to learn the nodes, to actually know what I should do. So yeah, that's that. And I now see I'm recording on my totally different disc. Okay, fuck it. Okay, so what else? My share is annoying me. Yeah, let's just break this up a little bit. So I'm gonna first do a transform. Oh, and by the way, you can like, since this is like the active one, it has the blue checky thingy. So I'm can just I want to do a transform, and I hold down Shift and Enter, and it's gonna be pre-connected. Okay, so I can move this up. I can. We can use, I can right click here, copy parameter, paste relative reference, boom, and it's, if I click here, I can see, okay, 1. That's what you get. We can do like, divided by 2 and whatnot. It's really nice, right? You could say I have 2 here. This doesn't make sense, but I can just drag it, say pivot, relative reference. Now we have that. I'm not saying that I'm going to do that, but you can just drag and drop. So let's have that. No, I'm not going to do that. Delete channel. Just move it up a little bit. We're going to have it fall like that. Awesome. Now, let's break this up. So you can use the new Boolean. It has a shadow function. So you can use, like, you can scatter a bunch of planes, maybe have some deformation with, for example, the mountain top, and you create all of these really nice shattered pieces. But we're going to use the Voronoi, because Voronoi is the most realistic that you ever get. Not joking. I am joking. But it's easy. So, what do we get? And what do we need? Geometry to fracture. Well, that should be this, right? This is what we... And I don't want to connect it like this. That's kind of weird, because that node is here. We want to do that, right? Okay, and then what we have here, we have points for Voronoi, so it needs points. This we don't have to care. Who cares about the third one, really? Come on, fucking noob. Scatter, we can use scatter. That's nice. I shouldn't say noob. That's really inappropriate for a tutorial. Sorry about that. So we have this. It doesn't do anything, right? I have this selected now. Like what? Okay, so it needs to scatter points onto something. I'm gonna pick this one. Now all of a sudden we see. Maybe you can't see it. It's 4K now, so sucks if you don't have 4K when watching this. It's gonna be kind of small. You basically just have to buy a 4K, then watch the video. Just a recommendation. 8. Let's do 8. Now you can see it, right? It's probably like 1 for you if you're on a... God damn it. That's the phone. I do have a phone, actually. Just gonna mute that. But what we see now is it's scatter on the surface. And that might be something that you want. Let's just do that for now. And select this again, clicking on this one, so we can actually see, if you render, you probably want to have the last node, probably, just visualize pieces so we can see it easier. And here they are. So let's just do an explode so we can see. By the way, this is a dummy search, okay? So use it as a dummy search. Very important. I see a lot of people, and you probably recognize that phrase, right? Yeah, I've seen a lot of people doing this, so I just did it. But it's a dummy search. You don't have to spell out the whole fucking word, okay? It's like extrude. No, that isn't. Poly extrude. Like you can do a PE. Boom. Okay, that didn't work. I did an X, and here we have poly extrude. I'm down here, by the way. So use it as a dummy search. You don't have to be specific, okay? So as you can see, kind of goes inwards because it's scattered on the surface. So let's just do a volume, okay? And this is, we can do VDBs, VDB. We can do cloud. We can do. I'm gonna do ISO offset. Put that in here, and now it creates a cloud, a density on our object. So we can now scatter inside of this. Cool. And now we get this effect instead, which is probably what you want. Another thing, Now we can remove that. I'm not gonna have a bunch of unnecessary nodes. It's just fucking. That's annoying. When if you make a video for tutorials, buy a tutorial, buy a noob, but still, even if you're a pro that makes the video, like don't have a bunch of unnecessary nodes. It's just annoying. It's just annoying. No, it's not annoying, but it's whatever. So, okay. So let's just make a shell. Let's make a shell out of this. It becomes a bit more interesting when we do our. Now I'm just fucking everything up. So I'm just gonna drag it like that, and I'm gonna turn out back. Now I can just shell it. If I press V, we can see it's a shell, right? You can see that. And now we have that. I think that's fine. Whoops, double click. Never do that. Okay. We're gonna do some constraints as well, but let's just first get this to like crumble down or fall down with gravity. Okay. Sorry for moving the viewport. It's fucking annoying. We're gonna use packed. We're gonna use points. Like points is something you're gonna be using a lot in this program. What is points? Well, I can't explain it, but it's like, there's no real difference between points and particles. For example, you can use points to like manipulate vertices, and like you will be using points. Just that's all you need to know. You're gonna be using fucking points. You're gonna be tired of points. So we're gonna add in an ensemble. So with that, we can just create packed geometry, and that basically says, hey, I'm a point. Each of these pieces now are a point. It's going to be a lot easier to calculate. I guess it's like, if you're coming from like a P-flow or thinking particles, it's like, you have, when you do, like if you shatter something in thinking particles, it's like a particle, right? Then you have a particle shape. I don't know if this even makes sense. Yeah, but it's just fucking faster to calculate. Okay, so we can see this point cloud. Here's the points. Look at that. Or is it that? Let's see. There it is. Here they are. And then we just create basically a shape collision out of the shape that we have. Create name attributes, also important because we're going to do some constraints. You need to have unique names, okay, for each piece. Otherwise, you don't want to have duplication and whatnot. You can solve like if you're using a copy. Oh, maybe we can do that later. I'm just rambling right now. I'm so excited, guys. So excited. Are you excited? Yes, you are. So null. I'm gonna use a null. Null is your best friend with a capital. Okay, so I'm just gonna sphere capital, just so it's on top of the selection list when we want to import this as a packed object inside of our DOP node. Okay, otherwise you're gonna be looking through and you're like, this is a major system right here. Like this, probably 1 year worth of information to get this far, and I'm giving it to you. Hopefully you're grateful sharing this video. Now I'm begging. Begging is not my thing. So I'm gonna cut that out. But we have that here. If we select this, it's gonna take everything above it. If I do stuff down here, it's not gonna be used in our DOP. But whatever. Let's just add a DOP. Okay, so I like to do that inside of here. Like you can create like a separate one, if you want to. I like to keep it here. You can do that if you want to, and say, hey, take whatever is inside of the first input. But we're gonna do it this way. Double click. Now we're in dynamics. Okay, you made it. Okay, so I know you're excited. Just hold your horses, okay? We're gonna make some freaking amazing thing right now. I'm just kidding. It's not gonna be that amazing, but it's a pact, right? So we're like, okay, pact, yeah, that must be that. RBD pact object. That's right. We need a solver, like fucking need a solver. So I mean, you can do that, and like, whoa, there's so many solvers right now. I don't even know where to start. So I'm just gonna tell you, we're gonna do a rigid body solver. This is like a not a multi-solver. Multi-solver is like if you want to mix and match solvers and do cool stuff. This is not cool stuff. Kind of cool if you're a beginner like me, but it's basically a few solvers in it. I don't know. I guess this is just fracturing based on something. I don't know. We're using a bullet. Like you can like do the bullet solver, right? I almost typed in the whole, and I'm just doing what I say you should not do. It's just so typical, so typical. But I'm just using the rigid body solver. Okay, so we have that. What else do we need? We need gravity. GR, see? Shift, enter. We want to have a ground. Okay. And now you're like, okay, we're in problem. We have problems right now. Mayday. How the fuck are we gonna connect this? I know your first instinct is probably close it down, uninstall, go back to 3ds Max. I'm just gonna give you the solution right now, so you don't have to do that and install again. It's just a waste of time. So we're gonna do tab. We're gonna do a merge. Ha! It's that easy. It's that easy, by. Yeah. Now this is kind of important, unless you do mutual. Now the order doesn't matter. That's easy. But I like to order them anyway because it kind of look nice. It's gonna select these, do that. Now it looks pretty. Looks like someone actually knows what they're doing. I don't, but I'm using the order function A drag. So we're gonna select our pact, right? And here's the SOP. So that means surface operator, right? So SOP path. It's like, okay, we need to select something. We press this little guy right here, and look here. Big letters on top. Double click. Whoop. There it is. See? Pretty cool. I don't know what happened, but something happened. So we have that selected now. Cool. Sweet. What happens? Let's just play this. Nothing happens. Why doesn't it happen? Let's see. No, yeah. Output. Stupid. I thought it was something with my recording program. So now let's click. Boom. Awesome. I mean, can't beat that. It's just gonna change this. I like 30, 100, like that. We don't have to see this. Still there. It's ugly. Okay, so we got first thing done. Let's make this a bit more interesting, and let's create. And if you don't want to see that, by the way, we can just like what do we want to have? Okay, so RBD star, which is wild. Enter. Boom. Now anything that is RBD. So if I click here, this is everything we have. It's like RBD. Look at that. There it is. If I do like, say I do grr, for some reason it still takes the whatever RBD. So fuck it. Let's create our joints. Okay. Super cool. This is gonna be. It's gonna be so cool. And one good way of doing that is connect adjacent pieces. We have different options here. We can use this. Let's just, search radius, boom. Now we have how many connection. or we can use the surface point where pieces are like connected, but it doesn't work on packed. So I'm just gonna boop do that before we actually packed it. I mean, you can use an unpack if you want to unpack. Come on, so unnecessary. That we only need one. I'm gonna use hard constraints because hard constraints looks nice. Okay, that's how you get that little from thinking particles, you know, the shape collision look and feel, like a little bit friction, which is like fuck. I can't, you know, can't get that from Bullet. Shape collision solver is freaking nice in thinking particles. But yeah, so now we can see our joints. Now, I think we can just click on the rest length. So we have that. I'm gonna do a prim wrangle. Don't be scared now, okay? This is like super hard coding, okay? You probably gonna have to watch this a few times before you actually get it because it's so hard. So we need a string s at maybe, okay, you probably maybe you can't see this. So how the fuck do you get up to Control E, Shift E? There it is. External editor. Okay, so this is Visual Basic Code. Now you can see I was like zooming. Don't mind the whiteness. I don't know why it's like that. So we need S, A. Can you see it? Now you can't see it. S for string, because the string is an attribute. This is a known attribute, by the way, so it kind of knows about this. Constraint underscore name. Then you name it something, whatever you want. So I'm just gonna say hard. I'm not really hard, so let's do con. I'm a con man. S at con. I was actually watching how long this has been. Constraint type. You don't need type. You only need the constraint name. Okay, that's what you need. And I really hope my mic is actually working. It's fucking with me. I don't want to have to redo this. I feel like this is goldmine right now. It's goldmine. I'm gonna all. I think position only. Like that's the default. I believe there's an angle or something. I'm gonna say all. I'm gonna save it. X. Oh, you son of a bitch! You didn't. Okay, but fuck it. Use. Oh, there it is. Boom. Okay. Apply. Accept. Okay. So that's what we did. Now I'm gonna do a null again. Constraints, big letter, so we can select it. Let's just see if this works. We might get into trouble. Then we fix it. Do like that. Constraint network. I don't know. The order of this doesn't seem to matter that much. I assume it needs to be under the solver. Okay. So hard relationship. It says here that's the name of it. Hard constraint relationship. Green to green. Here I'm gonna select constraint network. I'm gonna select our constraints that we just did a null with, the null thingy. Here I'm gonna say con. That's what we named it. Boom! It works. Pro. God mode. Okay, so if nothing were to show up, then something would be wrong. Let's just see if this actually works. It can get weird because of the rest length, but hopefully not. I'm just gonna not see that. Let's just, no, it works. It's really hard though. I think we can change these a little bit. There we go. It's like gushy, a little bit gushy. Is that a word? I don't know. I'm just so freaking cool right now. Did I just say that? Five. Let's just lower this a little bit. I don't think we. Maybe we should have. Let's just do 10. Okay, so hard constraint doesn't break. Okay, it never breaks like glue, for example. Glue is like on or off. It's like it's gonna be fucking on until something happens, and then it's just off. You can switch. You can like you can go from a hard to a glue or vice versa. Or I mean, there's other constraints as well. Spring, I believe, and I don't even know constraints. Well, there's a lot of constraints here. But right now, this is glued or hardened on forever and ever. So we're gonna do a sub solver and drop not like that, not like that. Okay, sub solver. Let's go in here. If I do this, we can say, "Oh, it's the sub land again." Yes, relationship. That's what we're gonna be playing around with because this is, relationship. I guess constraints. It's a relationship between one point to another. I'm gonna start with an output. Just have that click there. And then we're gonna do a prim wrangle because these are primitives. This is not points. Constraints are primitives. Connected like this. Okay, there we go. It doesn't really update. Like I mean, you can make it like update, but we're not gonna do that. You can have it follow, but we don't need that. Okay, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go to this one, primitive. Here you can see if you're at 0, it's like, whoa, there's like nothing. I mean, we have our con, all, rest length, whatever, group. We don't need group. We could have deleted that. But if we scroll, we just like one frame. Now we have stuff, right? A torque. We can use that. We can use distance. We can use a force, like to just like, okay, if the distance, let's go with the distance, okay? I don't know. Should we? It doesn't really do much there. Okay, so maybe we should do force. Let's just do force. That's cool. Force. So just do if. No, and this is where I should like do that again, right? So do if. This if statement. I don't like this white. Do that. Now it's nice. If something. Was it force? Let's just do. I don't know if you do need to do that. It is f float attribute force that we saw, right? We saw force. If that is greater than a value, I don't know. That was like weird value, right? Just to do like this or whatever. Let's just see where that leads. If that happens, I want you to break. Broken. I think it's like broken. Broken equal 1, I think. Well, I know 1, but I should have done this before I actually also, like a few weeks ago, I did anything. Broken, otherwise broken 0, right? So let's just try that. Save X, apply, accept. I don't know. Let's just see. Should I probably? Let's just see. Isn't it, or is it like? Is it a group? That's real. Group. I don't even know. Maybe I should pause the fucking video just to see. Yeah, could it be? Let's see. I think it is, but let's see. We definitely need to raise this. I don't know why I did that. I said 2. Let's do 2. Still too much, I suppose. Okay, so let's just go just higher. Okay, I'm gonna go, whoops, 20. So it's a group thing. It wasn't an attribute. And see, now it's kind of, well, kind of broken altogether. But it's at 50. What do we get? Whoa, we get that. Cool, right? So it's like almost all broken. But that's how you do it, right? You create a subsolver and you do a bunch of stuff. That's what you do. Easy. Come on, man. Get a grip, bro. I don't think I'm gonna go further with this. You can switch groups and whatnot as well. You just gotta learn the if else. I mean, it's all about if and else. Okay, so you can do a bunch of awesome stuff. That's basically it. That's basically that. Now, shall we, for example, I feel like I want to do something more. Let's do the copy thing. Okay, should I just remove it? I'm just gonna remove it. Okay. Let's do a sphere again, because who doesn't like a sphere? I do. And you do the copy. Copy is like a cloner coming from, if you come from Cinema 40. You're not watching this. Come on. So, well, by the way, we have a bunch of copies now. We have like points, copy transform. Transform is like, you wanna copy a few and just like that. That's copy transform. Let's should we no let's do a box. Let's do a box now. And add another box. Make this bigger. I don't know. ISO. There's there is like you can get more of a grid pattern. I don't know what node that was. Is it a height field scatter? No, it's not. But let's just use this. So we have this box, and we have these points. You know what? I wonder if we can copy points. So it's the primitive to copy. Now we have that, right? Can we do that? Yeah, we can do that. So it's gonna like copy this on all the vertices. So I can make this a mesh, for example. I think we need to fix the normals or something. No? It's always the normal thing. Just never fun. Never fun. Like point is the point. Add something. Let's do normal. Fuck, I should have done this before. There we go. Constant value. Is this like the up vector or something? Yeah. Let's do that. So now it kind of inherits the stuff, like points, like your polygons are like inherent the point stuff, right? So you have to think about that. I think I can just do like a normal thing. There we go. Look at that. Look at that beautiful piece of art. Okay, so, let's say we want... I'm just going to move this up as well. So now I'm just going to quickly... Oh, come on, man. Come on. Gonna create packed object. Dop network. Did I just fuck my mouse over? Let's just quickly... Packed, rigid, force, merge, ground plane. Do like that. Look how beautiful. And I didn't do a... We can do this time, just so you see. Do that. I'm going to select the first context geometry. Boom, there it is. So, nah, that didn't work. Oh, I didn't add need a gravity. What am I doing? What am I doing? So now we got that, right? So how would you go? I guess the name is actually is all. Yeah, it is. Oh, but let's do this then. Let's do another copy transfer of these points. I'm just going to do that. So now I'm like, do another copy, move that up. Now the problem is going to be that there's going to be duplications. I believe there should be. No, there's not. But let's just pretend that we did it like that. Right? Now we're going to have duplications. So piece 9, 9. So we have 2 9s, 2 8s. Right? So then, I'm sure there's other ways of doing this, but let's do a point wrangle. And again, I'm going to open this up. So we need name. That's a known thingy, right? I believe, yeah. And we use a function, sprint f. So this, we need a name. Let's just remove that. So let's just do blah. This like that. So the D is going to be this part is going to be changed to pt num. That's also a known thing, right? Whoops. Okay, so this is a function. This is how function looks like. It has like these guys, and it takes arguments. This is the arguments that we need. It has a bunch of codes inside of this. Just do a bunch of, you can do this yourself, but you use functions in programming, right? Maybe this is scripting, I don't give a fuck. And just do that. And now, hopefully, it's like, come on. Really? Ah, do I really need to? There it is. Now that, I'm just gonna rewrite this, okay? Name, sprint. So let's just do name, whatever. I think you can. PTNum stands for point number. We're using points right now. So now it should be all unique. Not sure if we need P's. No, you can use anything. Just do that. Okay, so now everything should be unique. Okay, cool. Now we can use constraints. That's kind of why I did all this. Constraint, come on. Constraint network, let's add it here. And by the way, we actually need to create constraints as well. I'm just gonna go with a hard constraint now. Let's just up this baby up. Prim wrangle, and again s at constraint name, and just do like con again. You can name it whatever you want. It's a hard constraint, so yeah, I mean you can use strings and whatnot. You can do like strength. That's a known thingy. This is gonna act like a multiplier of a value that we tweak inside of the DOP. Let's do a null. Again, constraints. Maybe I shouldn't have deleted what I did previously, but whatever. Constraints. And let's do a glue. Did I say hard before? I meant glue. Con. It works because we can see the reds in here. Otherwise, we wouldn't if something didn't work, it wouldn't. So basically, if I set the strength super high, boom, it doesn't break. So and you can use like noises and whatnot to really, like you can create a noise here for these guys and have like oh, if the value, like say a black and white noise, and it's like if you're 0 to 0.2, you should have this strength, and to make it like interesting and whatnot. But that's kind of like if you have if you have duplication of names for some reason. I think this not this this is how you do it. Just believe me. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't really work well now when I like removed the name thingy. Okay, so this is like 51 minutes in. Seriously happy with the video, and I hopefully you are too, and you now can go out and get your dream job at Blur Studio. You can just refer them to me if you need, like, I can write a certificate or something. And just, I'm there for you, bro. Okay, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't apply. Well, do it if you're good enough. But then you're not watching this video. So, yeah. If you like this kind of video, let me know in the comment on my site or YouTube, Vimeo, whatever. And I can do more Houdini stuff. I mean, there's freaking a ton, and I'm, like I said, I just obviously always learning, right? But I'm just a beginner, so I have a fuckload of learning to go. But I don't see a reason why I can't make a video anyways. It's fun, I have something to teach, and I think you should too. If you feel like you have something to teach, don't be afraid of doing it. It's fun. It's if you like statistics, it's that even more fun. Afterwards, you can see like, ooh, I got 2 views. It's all fun. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you within this year. I yeah, I'm not gonna promise anything, but hopefully, come on, do my best here. Okay. So until next time, bye bye.